Easy, everyone, what's going on? Your boy Ben Random. And gotta be buzzed with that, I suppose. I mean, let's think. First 15, 20 minutes, we weren't on the ropes, but it just weren't clicking. I felt there was no rhythm. There was no what I would call guts on the ball. Too safe as always, and I felt that's why we got beat on Monday against Everton. We just got too placid, really. But the actual first goal, if you remember the sequence of play, what started it is about all playing it out from the back, and the way that Ramsdale drew the players in, it was unbelievable. And then the break from there, to be able to find Saka, and Saka got his head up, pulled it back, in a great finish from Laka, you got to say. And then I wanted to see the response. After we got smashed by Liverpool, I wanted the response that loss, I wanted it to live with those players, so that it knows that when we get to a position where we're taking teams to task, we actually be ruthless, which I'll touch on later in the video. But then when we lost to United and then we lost to Everton, it was clear that we were going one up and we were bottling, pushing for the second. So to get the second today in the space of 6 minutes, albeit quite fortunate circumstance in how it led up to that actual goal, but again, great closing down. Tierney obviously miskicked it, or were it a great touch? Who knows? Yeah, definitely miscontrolled, but I don't think Tierney's been at it the past 2 games, but he's got 2 assists. And the man who's been stepping up with the goals, Martin Odegaard. I want to speak about Odegaard for a bit, because I felt this game was a game where he really pushed on. I felt he's been a bystander a lot of the games, and I see ability in that kid. I think he could be an unreal player, honestly. I think he could be one of the greats. His positional play, his vision, he's very astute technician, and you can see he's got a footballing brain. Like, they did a layoff for Laka earlier on where Laka should have shot. Unbelievable. And I think it's his first full season in the Premier League. I'd love to see him having these performances against your Liverpools, your Cities, your Chelseas, and I believe they'll come. But what we need to do is make sure that Martin Odegaard plays like that for at least 30 to 32 Premier League games of the season. And when he doesn't, like he didn't on Monday, we struggle, because he's the link, really, between the midfield and the attack. So when he has games like this, and I pray that there's more games like this to come, especially as I think that it's more of a confidence thing with him. And I know that when he looks at it, it's the ability of opponent. And I think that once he realises the level that he can be at, that won't be there. But at this moment in time, there's certain teams that he should just look to take to the sword. Unfortunately, that game was won today. I thought Odegaard, standout performance. He'd get my man at match if it weren't for Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale's ball over the top for Martinelli with the backspin, top spin on it, was unbelievable. But again, just his all-round presence, his passion. Did you see how he celebrated when Laka scored? And again, we were under the cosh at that moment. Gabriel had just been booked. Tierney were getting caught. Midfield were getting caught. Again, Partey. Less said, better. So yeah, 3 points, valuable 3 points this, because it gets us ticking again. And the manner of it, and this is why I mentioned the Liverpool game at the start, is there was a 10-minute spell where we looked like we wanted to take them to the sword. I think Gabriel scored in that moment, or it might have been just after the disallowed Gabriel goal, which then he scored again. And then we were just at him and at him and at him. And then game management, or we just took our foot off the pedal, whatever you want to call it. And then we sort of just eased into the game. I would have liked to have seen us push for a 4th, maybe a 5th, but that's greedy. But that's what the big teams do, and that's what I want us to be building towards, because there was a lot of goals to be had there. And I think that another thing that I want to see us switch, especially at moments like that in the game, is start to stretch teams then. If we're going to keep it, stretch teams, because I still feel we play too compact. I noticed that when Laka were on, obviously he drops deep, we know he does that, but when Laka went off and Martinelli went up top, Now, this is Martinelli who'd been pushing wide and stretching them as much as he can, or asking for the ball and running at them. But as soon as he went up top, he was coming back into like the middle, like our midfield, and coming deep. So that's got to be a tactical thing. That has to be a tactical thing, because 1 minute he wasn't, and then the next minute he was. So yeah, who knows? I'm glad we won when we were wearing this, because I started to think it were a bit of a jinx top as well, but that's a joke thing. But anyway, 3 points, buzzing. West Ham's going to be a tough game. But it should be a game to tell us where we're at, you know. So let's see where we go. Let's see if we get 3 points off that, then it's more to push on again. The 2 previous results still do hurt. I'm not even touching on the Abba situation. I thought Arteta's right to discipline if he feels there's something there. And the decisions he made in today's game were correct. But for me, it was more a response from the dourness of the 2 last games. Not only the performances, but from losing in a leading position. And the fact that we've kept a clean sheet. We've also took the lead, but pushed on and scored a quick goal. Ticks all around. Still some players to step up, Thomas Partey especially, but it is what it is. Let's be positive. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and let's see how we get on midweek. Bless. Peace.